afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. Poor voter education by ECZ may result in many rejected ballots, charges FODEP. The Socialist Party cautions politicians against blackmailing the poor with prayer. Join me with the media news in detail after this commercial.
Yo, bro. When I heard about the PF government's youth empowerment funds for creative arts, I was so damn excited, man. I drafted a proposal and applied for funds. Guess what they say? I have a fully fledged studio with all the recording equipment needed to get our beats out. And in these times of COVID, it's helped me a lot. What I could say is thank you to the PF government for everything they've done.
Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
May I please have one beer and 2 glasses?
Do you have champagne? Yes.
Hold that thought. No champagne just for the month. You know we gotta keep on texting R to 9595.
I'm sick and tired of this R9595.
You stand a chance of your lifetime to win a brand new 2020 Range Rover Evoque when you text R to 9595. From as little as 5 kwacha, you get 1 entry. 10 kwacha for 3 entries, and 20 kwacha will give you a whopping 7 entries. There will also be daily and weekly consolation prizes up for grabs. That's great news, right? Competition runs from 12th of May to 31st of August 2021 and is only open to Zamtel subscribers. Terms and conditions apply.
Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. Some parents of Lusaka are still skeptical about the reopening of schools for examination classes and grade 10 on the 5th of August announced by government. Earlier this week, government announced this development, which parents feel schools at all grades should have opened after the country's general election. A check on selected schools found the turnout of pupils low.
Thursday, August 5th, 2021 is the day set for the reopening of schools for selected grades across the country. As expected by some, this day comes with mixed feelings by some parents. It is observed that majority of pupils could not report for school due to various reasons. Parents share their reasons to why they opted to shun away from sending their children to school, saying they do not understand the decision by government, hence pupils staying back regardless the grades.
Who does that? Abruptly, you can imagine your son is somewhere very far in a boarding school. And then from nowhere, where do you get the money from? And then this is towards the elections. You know what does that mean? It's better if you have Peter first, Mama, and all peace. Because our papa didn't come and already got to have what about in Pan. What's more? Tell you how I feel like coming and no.
My school, Segulira Bana, first my election ya piti. Dava Lina Ngobana kunga pezeke futi, Kairi vochti ka futi, stinga zeva mine vinga nkali. So mwane bankali da so chape, banga nkale, kani ni next week, madezi ya sila kudara. So ngati vapita and then wiki yokonkapo ngepa niwanga seguliri.
To some, it is just a lack of knowledge. They only know of 16th August as the official date.
So when guys were printed, what did you? 5 years. I was here for 5 years. Getting it's never never be any about 16, but I was also grade 9, 12, 11.
Parents have since called on government to give proper directions on such decisions going forward. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Foundation for Democratic Process has expressed disappointment that the Electoral Commission of Zambia's available voter education material has only been made available a few days before polling day. FODEP Executive Director George Membe says the voter education in the August 12th general election has poor, hence that may lead to a high number of rejected ballots. And Mr. Membe is of the view that voter education could have been printed locally, as the country has the capacity to do so. He says during the 2026 general election, ballot papers and voter education materials should be printed by the government printers.
Voter education is important in the electoral process as it enables every vote to be counted, as citizens will be able to mark the ballot papers correctly. However, there has been concerns that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has not done enough to ensure that people are informed on the voting process. Rich and informative materials have been provided by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. However, stakeholders say it is too little too late to distribute all the informative materials across the country so that people can be informed on the various processes surrounding the electoral process, especially voting. I caught up with the Foundation for Democratic Process, FODEP, to find out their views on this matter.
By now, we should have had these, voter education materials, out there. But I'll tell you that, and I even want to show you in here, they brought these things, and they are marooned here, and Mr. Soka, I want us to go there so that you put those things on camera. They are here. They were brought, and we only have a few days, a few days before the poll day. And here is, of course, it's a good thing that they are engaging us, but it has come rather too late, We don't think that most of the materials that they brought will be taken to the provinces, to the districts. I think the timing was wrong, but also it's just a decision that they had to take to contract that contractor, that printer from Dubai. I think that should have been done locally. And I think going forward, we should even desist or discourage and even stop printing ballot papers from outside. We need to do the next 5 years. Let's work on the government printer so that we can, modernize it so that it can meet the emerging needs of how to print these, ballot papers.
Mr. Chimembe is also of the view that the printing of such materials should be done locally to avoid spending huge sums of money across borders.
I'm also disappointed with ECZ that, look, they went to Dubai, to print voter education materials, And I think we are very, very disturbed with what happened, very disappointed. Because why should we not empower, local printers, local companies, even, our own government printers? Those are the ones that should have done that particular assignment. And by now, we should have had these, voter education materials, out there. But I'll tell you that, and I even want to show you in here, they brought these things, and they are marooned here.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
In other news, former National Democratic Congress leader Chishimba Kambwili has charged that the assertion by some people that the Patriotic Front government has turned Zambia into one of the poorest countries globally is unfair. In an interview with Camnet TV, Dr. Kambwili notes that the Patriotic Front administration has performed beyond expectation despite having faced certain challenges while trying to implement development projects. Meanwhile, Dr. Kambwili has compared the country's development to that of China, adding that if it took China 30 years to develop as a country, Zambia equally can't develop in only 10 years' time. He has since called on all well-meaning Zambians to pledge their support towards the Patriotic Front, adding that it is the only party that has the best interest of the Zambian people.
strictly speaking, PF has performed beyond expectation. Yes, there are a lot of challenges that need to be sorted out. But to say that the PF has failed, no, that is really being unfair. That is really being unfair. Because the PF has transformed this country. And like I've always said, you have to anchor developmental projects on certain fundamentals. And the fundamental of developing a country is infrastructure development. There is no way you can develop without infrastructure. The PF has done the infrastructure. Now what remains is to roll out the industries, to roll out the farming, so that now you can create jobs and start counting yourselves as a developed country. And in doing this, you can't do it within 10 years, really. It took China 30 years to develop to where they are. How do you expect PF to develop in 10 years? So I think those who are saying PF has failed is not correct.
The Socialist Party of Zambia has cautioned politicians blackmailing poor citizens with prayer at the expense of facilitating tangible development. Socialist Party presidential candidate Fred Mwembe says prayer is nothing without action. Dr. Mwembe is saddened over the high levels of income inequalities in the country, where the gap between the rich and the poor continues to widen. He says the Socialist Party wants to get in the mining and agriculture sectors in order to safeguard all Zambians.
Zambia's Gini coefficient indicates that the gap between the rich and the poor in the country is widening and currently stands at 0.735 according to latest data from the World Bank. This means that the country has been listed as one of the poorest in the world, where a majority of the population can hardly afford to eat 3 decent meals in a day. The Socialist Party states that there is need to deal with the high cost of living in the country, as the rising inflation levels have been reflected in an increase of commodity prices, thereby making most goods beyond the reach of many citizens. Socialist Party President Dr. Fred Mwembe was speaking Thursday during a virtual rally. He has also charged that while prayer may be important, action on the problem must follow, as God has given man knowledge to solve his own problems.
So the poor are paying more and more for everything. They are paying more and more for carpenter, they are paying more and more for meal, they are paying more and more for meat. For a chicken, they can't go and buy the whole chicken, they have to buy pieces of chicken. For cooking oil. For cooking oil, they have to buy at a high price. So the poor are paying more for everything. It's not just about, praying. In this country today, every little thing that we lack, what we have failed, let's go and have a prayer day. You have no food, let's go and pray. Jesus didn't do that. What did Jesus do when the multitude was hungry?
He asked it to be given something. He asked it for bread, he asked it for fish. You have to give something for that, what you have given to be blessed. That's how miracles work.
Yes.
Zambia.
The Socialist Party leader has further shunned the use of ordinary fertilizers in agriculture, stating that these are harmful to humans' health and the environment, further encouraging the embracing of organic farming.
Food produced with fertilizers,
they go organic.
They go organic. The rich are no longer eating fertilizer foods.
They know there's something wrong with it. They know this is destroying the soils.
They are not producing it for human consumption, they are producing it for profit. They don't care what happens to that human being. Let them eat the junk food, the poor food. As long as we make money, they don't care.
And the Socialist Party,
they themselves who are producing that food,
let them eat it. The Socialist Party is walking the talk. It is saying we have to go organic.
He also adds that it is unrealistic to believe that Zambia can fully run its own mines, as it does not have the capacity. Dr. Mwembe has instead suggested that the country can instead maximize on taxes from the sector.
They were not designed to be run by us. They are not our mines. If we take them over, we will not be able to run them. The supply chains are complicated. Moreover, it's only 1/3 of our mining potential that is under exploitation. We still have 2/3 to exploit. We will leave these mines under their current ownership, but we will make sure that we collect fair taxes from them. And also we'll make sure that our few people are getting jobs there. They get decent jobs, they get decent pay, they get decent conditions.
To collect fair taxes.
Political parties are competing on ideas as the 12th August 2021 elections approach. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Poor voter education by ECZ may result in many rejected ballots, charges FODEP. The Socialist Party cautions politicians against blackmailing the poor with prayer. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Remember to always wear your mask, avoid crowded places, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Stay safe and good afternoon.